This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
Welcome on into another episode of the Voice of the Land podcast. I'm your host who's starting off today. It's a little weird. Kevin's not here today. He's on assignment. Wish him and his family all the best there for us. But I'm your host, Nick Paulus. And joining me today is my brother here for us, Tyler LaFratta. Also, by the way, sponsor, DP Construction, owner, everything there for us. Let's get that up there. DP Construction, you can contact them at 330-217-4999. Obviously, hit up Tyler at tylerlafratta@gmail.com. And once again, today in-house here for us, subbing in for Kevin, is Tyler LaFratta.
Yeah, good to be back.
How's it going?
Good.
It's been a minute since you've been here.
Yeah, what was it? Right before the Brown season.
Yeah, I think it was September. It was right around there, September, August time frame.
Yeah, the week before the opener.
So, right. Yeah. Well, here, that wasn't enough of a DP sponsorship there for us. I want you to talk about DP. How's everything going for them?
Good. Right now it's in the slow time of the year, so we're doing like some indoor work and stuff like that. But we're ramping up for the springtime. A lot of
it's coming up. It's 50 degrees
today.
today.
Things lined up, and we're getting back after it.
Yeah. Pretty pumped.
No, no, yeah, I am.
Sending Uncle Steve everywhere, all over Northeast Ohio, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's going to be a lot of Steve driving around, and we got some work. It'll be nice.
Good.
Yeah, we're always looking for more though.
So. There you go. Everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Hit up Tyler. You will also be able to see Tyler's Twitter handle as well. Browns guy Clee. Because he was the first one to get to it, right?
Yep, got it first.
There, got it first. Dibs. Dibs. And you always have to respect the dibs, by the way. So there we go. I wanted to hop right into this one because we got a packed and loaded show today. There's been a lot of rumblings about J.J. Watt. Will he, won't he? Where's he going to go? Bills, Packers, Browns, maybe, Tennessee Titans. I don't get any of those teams other than like the Packers or the Browns. Yeah. Like the Titans, like the Bills. You know what? I understand the Bills because like they were on the precipice of going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They got blown out by KC. Neither here nor there. But this isn't going to be a JJ Watt show. Like, just throwing that out here. We are pre-recording the show here for us. We're doing this right about 1:15 in the afternoon today here on Sunday. So if JJ signs, then I'm going to look like an ass. But right. We'll kind of play it from there. But this show, I want to start off this by talking about the Browns and Baker Mayfield.
Oh.
The last time that you were here, we played a word association game. I'm sure I'll throw up the clip at some point in time this week because I have it saved in my phone. It is that good. Yeah. I absolutely love it. We played a word association game. The first word that comes to your mind whenever I say a person's name or place or anything like that, I said Baker Mayfield. What was your answer?
Sucks.
Okay. And then you said after that,
prove me wrong.
Prove you wrong. Yeah. Did he prove you wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to get that right out in the open.
To be fair, in 2019, Baker Mayfield sucked.
Well, he did suck. He had 22 touchdowns to 21 interceptions.
Games of this year, he kind of sucked.
Okay.
And he definitely proved me wrong. I actually posted that clip immediately after the interception against Cincinnati where Odell tore his ACL.
Yeah. And then he tore up.
Since that clip, I posted that on my Twitter. He was on fire. So
he saw it.
You are welcome, Cleveland.
Clearly, and obviously Baker Mayfield tunes in because he has to. Tyrann Mathieu does.
Yeah.
So the Honey Badger does.
That's the show of the players.
Absolutely. We're going to start calling this like the locker room or something. So
this is the players show.
Yes, this is the players show. But once again, I want to start off talking about Baker Mayfield. Rumblings were made this week, not by Baker, however, but by Colin Cowherd. Obviously, everyone's go-to favorite media conglomerate here in Cleveland is Colin Cowherd. Obviously, I'm joking about that.
Right. It's your guy.
My guy, totally. And you know what? Like, he had like a blood clot in his lung like a month ago or something, and he had to actually cut back on his time on the show for a couple of days. I actually wished him well. Like, I obviously don't wish harm on anyone or bad health issues or anything like that. But now he's coming out and he's looking like an ass again. He's calling out Cleveland. He's calling out Baker. He's back to normal. Right. He's healthy again. So that's a bonus.
Yeah, that's good.
I did want to break this down for you guys. Peter, by the way, behind the proverbial glass, I can't say it as well as Kevin does, obviously, but there we go. How's everything going for you today?
Good. I'm looking forward to, I don't know. I'm looking forward to some warm weather, finally.
It's like, yeah, like I said, it's like 50 degrees
good
today,
out
so
there, yeah.
it's perfect.
It's like a summer day.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
I really want to bust out the grill and start making some steaks or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I might do that tonight.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're all invited, right?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Plenty of room. Once again, Colin Cowherd was talking about a lot about the quarterback situation here in Cleveland and elsewhere as well. He was breaking down saying, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, I mean, the major guys that, were all better than Baker. That's an obvious, no doubt.
Right,
I understand that. Then he was starting to throw out a couple of people there for us, like Kirk Cousins, or Jimmy Garoppolo, or Ryan Tannehill. I mean, they're all kind of right there.
Yeah.
I want to make sure, we're all on the same page about this one. Okay.
All right.
I want to know the definitive ranking of Baker Mayfield. And this is why I got my computer up. You can't see it, but I got it up and loaded here for us. I want to go through each team here for us and find out exactly where Baker stands there for us. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. Is he better than Baker Mayfield?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Is Baker, Baker's not better than Josh Allen.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, so he is not better than Josh Allen.
No.
Okay.
Not at this point in time.
Okay. No. Tua.
Yes.
Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Okay. The New England Patriots. Yes. There's Cam Newton.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. The New York Jets, Sam Darnold.
No, that's the easy one.
Given. Okay. Let's go through our division. Okay.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah. That one's tough. That one's Ben.
Do you think
decline. Yeah, Ben. He's better than Ben right now.
Okay, he is better than Ben.
I would say he's better right now. Where they're at in their careers, yeah, I think he's better than Ben.
Without going too much farther into this, okay, because I think just naming teams and kind of going through that might be a little stagnant there for us.
Yeah.
I want to know: is he a top 10 quarterback?
I think he's right there, top, probably 12. I have him. I remember I was looking at the list Cowherd made. He had some terrible. He didn't even have Stafford in there. If you had some guys ahead of him, I forget who he had, but he's not quite top 10. He's probably right there on the cusp, 10 through 12, I'd say.
10 through 12.
Yeah, he's probably right. Baker's right in there.
Is he better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's right there.
Ryan Tannehill.
He's right there. I mean, he's in that tier.
Grouping.
He's in that tier.
Okay,
where you're not. I don't know if he's going to win a Super Bowl. He's not ready to win a Super Bowl. I should say that. But
how many tiers do you think there are in an NFL system? Peter and I were talking about this.
32.
There are 32 tiers.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean,
do you think there's I think there's 5 tiers of quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think there's Hall of Famers.
Right.
You have the Aaron Rodgers, you have Mahomes, Brady, Russell Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I think that you have the Pro Bowl quarterbacks, which are good, but not great.
Right.
Okay. I'm talking Deshaun Watson. I think he's on his way up,
right,
but still too young, too young of a quarterback there for us. Josh Allen.
I mean, Lamar.
Lamar, he won an MVP.
Bowl.
He has to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Baker could get to that level?
Yeah, I think he's right there,
because I have Baker
knocking down the door of that tier.
Exactly. I was going to say, I have Baker in that third level where I have starters, and then I have bench players, and then I have bums that shouldn't even be in the league.
Right.
Okay. That is the 5 tiers there
then
for us.
Below that, you got Ben Roethlisberger.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. There's 50 feet of crap, and then Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
There for us. But I view Baker.
Feels good to say that with confidence
Absolutely.
after 20 years.
after 17, 18 years of straight kicking our ass.
After him not being the winningest quarterback at Cleveland Brown Stadium.
Thank God that Baker broke that streak. Thank God for that. And Baker finally has a winning record.
Feels good to say that guy really sucks.
What a bum. Right. This show's just
I've been waiting for a long time to get that off my chest.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There you go. But I think we're in agreement that there are, a couple of different tiers there for us. Baker could get into that second tier, that Pro Bowl sort of tier.
Yeah.
Do you think that he could ever get to that first tier.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He proved he can win a playoff game. You know, I mean, if he gets to a Super Bowl, you know, he's probably a year up in that tier. I mean, you win an MVP, you do something like that. I mean, you're in that tier. I mean,
okay. Well, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, we're looking at Lamar Jackson. We don't put him in that tier.
well, that's true.
See,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I don't want to go with the double standard of
Yeah, you probably have to win, like I said, win a Super Bowl, I guess, because that's why I put Russ in there. I mean, he won the Super Bowl.
never had an MVP vote, not once, which is like
He's always there at the beginning of the season. He's always in the
he always
conversation,
is.
and then he always
he had
tails off
40
somehow.
touchdowns this year,
Yeah.
but he had like 33 like at like week 12,
Right.
and then it just went
Yeah.
on a steep decline after that.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's he can get there. He's got to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the way that I view all of this is we know Baker. I mean, Baker's had, I believe, just off the top of my head, 75 touchdowns to, I want to say 6 interceptions. Okay. But I mean, obviously he went 26-8 this year,
Right.
which is
It's great.
phenomenal.
We talked about it at the beginning of the season. If his interceptions were in the single digits, the Browns would be in a playoff team.
Right.
And
If you're a
They were,
3
and
to
they were.
1, yeah, if you're a 3 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio,
Yeah.
that's definitely going to be a bonus there
Right.
for us, obviously. So, but I want to know is where, I guess my whole thing around this is that is Colin right? Because like I love bashing Colin. I love, doing all, like saying, he's wrong. Cleveland's better than that. Baker's better than that. It's hard. It's a hard pressed thing for me to say that he's not wrong about that, because in that third grouping, I would have the Jimmy Garoppolos. I would have
Baker. I would have.
I think
Tannehill,
Baker's at the top of that list,
Right,
like trying to break through. But
I would agree with that.
yeah, so
Yeah. I have him right there in the middle of the pack. I mean, of the good quarterbacks. You know, I mean, he's good. Is he great? Not yet. He's not great. I mean,
just straight
he
up,
doesn't suck.
he doesn't suck. Okay, we finally got that on camera there for us, so
yeah.
that's definitely
Baker
a bonus.
Mayfield doesn't suck.
No, that's definitely a bonus, and I do agree with that.
Yeah.
He does not suck.
That's all we need him to do, though, with the team we have, and it's like just don't suck.
Yeah.
Just don't throw interceptions. Don't turn the ball over. Don't suck.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so whenever we're looking at like the playoffs and everything like that, just sort of a recap, because you weren't here, for the entire season aspect of that. We have the the beginning of the year, and then now we have you here for it. How did you how did you feel about the Browns season? As an overall recap of it.
Oh, it was great. I mean, everything was great except for the Jets game. The Jets game really, I thought at that point, like, oh, here we go. We're going to miss the playoffs. But they were that was the most consistent. Like, I wasn't really sure even how to act until they're just expected to win now. Like, that's not
right.
We've never just been expected to win football games in Cleveland.
Yeah, not
I mean?
since the 80s.
Right.
Before we were born.
They were beating the teams that they should have beat other than the Jets, and they were playing. I mean, other than those 2 blowouts, they played every team tough. I mean, they had some crazy weather this year too. I mean, they really overcame a lot, and with the COVID things, missing injuries, and they overcame a ton this season to get to the playoffs. Which, I mean, the Odell injury, it's like.
Well, I mean, he does that on the very first play of the Cincinnati game. What was that, week 8, I believe, for us. And, I mean, at that point in time, after that, you have the loss to the Raiders. You win that Bengals game.
Yep.
Loss to the Raiders, win against the Texans, Eagles, Jaguars, Titans, and then you lose to the Ravens. What was that, a Monday night game? Yeah.
That was crazy.
Sunday night, you beat the Giants, lose to the Jets, and then back-to-back weeks of beating Pittsburgh.
Right.
Which, I mean, clearly the greatest memory of all
I
time.
never let him live that one down.
Absolutely. At this point in time, and we had this question for us on the Paul and Colt show, Paul and Wild Colt show on ESPN Cleveland there for us yesterday. Who do you think, Jarvis Landry, Hollywood Higgins, Odell, who or other, who do you think is Baker's biggest target or most favorite target?
I want to say Hollywood.
You want to say Hollywood?
Yeah, when on third down, Jarvis is Jarvis is great, Jarvis catches everything. Jarvis is always, but on third down, like they're on Jarvis. You know what I mean? They know he's looking for Jarvis. He always found Higgins somehow on the biggest plays of the games. I feel like in the third downs, the red zones, he always found Higgins somewhere, or Higgins was diving, making a crazy catch like that, like his safety blanket, which I thought would be like Hooper this year.
Right.
It was more. I thought it was more Hollywood Higgins. I mean, I think that's Baker's guy.
Yeah.
We got to get him back.
Now, and he did make waves this past week, stating that
yeah.
he wants to be back in Cleveland. Apparently, Andrew Berry has yet to hit him up to give him give him a contract offer. Like, what do you think is going on with that situation?
I have zero clue what has ever gone on with the Hollywood Higgins situation in Cleveland. Like the whole Freddie thing where he like couldn't get on the field last year. Like, I have no idea. Like, call the guy. Get him a contract. Like, get him back on the field.
Sports Track actually believes that Hollywood's worth $6 million a year. They were stating that he could get a 4-year, $24 million contract.
Okay.
Is that too much or
no,
right?
I think that's about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have what, $28 million in cap?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking to sign a third string wide receiver for $6 million, kind of long termish, right?
I think I would do that. I would sign Higgins and probably try to rework Jarvis's last couple of years of his deal. Like, try to move around some money with his deal. He's got a lot of him and Odell got some.
But I mean,
numbers,
they're making 20% of the contract or 20% of the cap for the Browns.
Yeah.
It's a little unbelievable whenever you think about two wide receivers are 20% of your entire roster. And it's not like you can cut Odell, because
no, you can't, right?
Because then you're going to owe him, I believe, like $17 million or something like that.
I think they just can't. He's got the injury, like, you can't cut him.
Right.
He's got the injury clause in his contract, so I don't even think they're allowed without paying him every dime that he was his contract. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Peter, I want to know, who is Baker Mayfield's favorite target?
That's a good question. I think I have to agree with it, Hollywood, but it's interesting what Tyler said, because on third down, you're right, it seemed like he would find him, and I think it's because every defense was so intent on covering Jarvis and Hooper. They because there are so many weapons that Baker has. There's so many options that he has that you can't double team them all.
Right.
So, Higgins, I think they tend to click maybe just a little bit better than Jarvis and Baker do. And I think if Odell can stay healthy and really get some practice time with Baker, could you imagine if all three of those receivers were clicking with Baker?
Right.
Because who do you double team? Who do you cover? I mean, someone's going to break open.
Right, and then you have in the backfield.
Then you get Hunt coming out of that.
Yeah, you have Hunt coming out of the backfield. You have Chubb running between the tackles.
Yep.
It's almost an impossible situation. And we had spoke about this earlier in the year, weeks ago, obviously. We were stating about how, and I believe it was after that Tennessee win, whenever it got them to 9-3 on the year. This offense is a Super Bowl offense.
Oh, yeah.
Like without a doubt.
Right.
This defense obviously is where the issues are, and we're hopefully, going to answer those questions here with free agency coming up, as well as the draft here in I believe it's 65 days until the NFL draft, which is awesome.
In Cleveland.
In Cleveland. Yeah. So really can't wait for that. That's going to be fantastic.
Right.
What do the Browns need to do this offseason in order to make it to that next level? Whether, do you think the next level is the AFC Championship game or Super Bowl?
I mean, I feel like this year we were a couple plays away from the AFC Championship game.
Right.
I mean, with really an overperforming defense. Like, our defense was terrible, and it really kind of it played good enough in the playoff games.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if Mahomes was in that game, that was a blowout.
I think so as well.
To be honest, it was a blowout if he stays in the game the rest. And we weren't there yet. So, AFC Championship game would be a goal. Of course, you want to win the Super Bowl, but
sure.
Yeah, I'd like to win I'd like to go on a playoff run into playoffs like we did last year. A couple more games would be nice. So
yeah,
but they got to add some veterans on defense. That's everybody knows. I mean,
So
talking about Watt, we're talking about, even if they don't get Watt, there's like a lot of guys you can add to your defensive line. You got to draft it. You got to get some young line, like a linebacker in the draft, or a
sure.
When you got Delpit coming back, you got a lot of guys.
Apparently, Levante David, the linebacker from Tampa Bay, is a free agent here for us, and the Browns have been talking about possibly going after him, which I think would be a stud key right there.
Guys all over the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw it in the Super Bowl. I think he had like 14 tackles, and it was unbelievable. He was all over the field there for him. But do you think that in bringing in that said leadership, obviously it doesn't have to be J.J. Watt, it doesn't have to be Richard Sherman.
Right.
Do you think that, like, who would you most likely, or who would you most rather have on this team if
Aaron
you could have
Donald.
Right? Yeah. Trade a couple of firsts to get that guy. Yeah.
No, I mean,
Is there any free agent out there that sort of sparks you go, oh, if he's on this team, we're there.
Honestly, other than Watt,
sure.
I like Watt. What's his name? Casey, that just got released from, I think it was Denver. Interior defensive lineman.
Darrell Casey, is that his name? I believe.
I don't know his last name. That's Casey, but he's always been a stud. I'd like to have a guy like that. If they're going to let Ogunjobi walk, because he's going to get paid a little too much than we're going to pay him.
Right.
Go get a big interior lineman. Go get somebody that's going to, clog up the middle. And I'd like to see him bring back Terrence Mitchell.
Money Mitch.
I think he's like one of the most underrated players on our team. Like,
really?
He's always on the field. You never saying like, oh man, we would have won that game if it wasn't for Mitch getting torched. Like, he's always
if he didn't get burned.
Yeah, I mean, what is he going to cost? A couple million a year, and I think he's only like 28. He's not that old. I mean,
right?
Like, bring him back.
It's not.
I'd
like
like
you're
to have
dealing...
him back. Like,
right.
He's a familiar face. He knows the defense. Like, I'd like to have guys stick around in the scheme for multiple years to really see what the defense can do.
My go-to person right now, and he is available, is Patrick Peterson. Like, I would love to have Patrick Peterson on this team.
Yeah.
He's only 30 years old.
Yeah.
He still has a couple of years left. He didn't play to his Pro Bowl capabilities last year. I don't think so. One of the reasons why the Cardinals didn't make it, to the playoffs.
Right.
Pedestrian, I believe they were 8-8 on the year, but sort of fell down, going down towards the stretch of the year for him. But Patrick Peterson, I believe, still has a couple of years left. I would love to see Richard Sherman for like a year, but I think our window's open a little bit more than just 1 year.
Yeah.
And the NFL stands for not for long, so right. You got to kind of prepare yourself for anything
that
goes on.
With the cap being lower this year, there's going to be a lot of surprise cuts. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys available. I mean, the Browns are going to have a pick of a lot of players that can add to this defense that are going to help, because they don't have anybody. Right. They can use players everywhere. That's what I meant. But they have players. But
Peter, who do you think, or who would you like to see most, free agency wise?
Oh, I'm not even sure. Like we talked about last week. I would like to see Watt. I think that would be he'd be a great addition, or someone like him. Someone that can complement Miles. But yeah, really the defense, we need everything on the defense.
Right.
I mean, it's when Delpit comes back, it'll be great to have him back.
Sure.
But we don't know what that looks like.
And bringing up Delpit, bringing up Greedy Williams, Odell, you're adding all of those guys to an 11-5 team. Mm-hmm. So it feels completely different. Mm-hmm. Like, if you have a Delpit, do you win an extra game? Is he the difference between you and like the Oakland game, or the New York Jets game?
Right. Yeah. With him, we don't know, because he's a rookie. I mean, it's not like we knew. We know what we would have gotten out of him. He might have sucked.
He might have sucked. Very well could.
And then with Greedy, I don't know what he's doing. He just cannot stay healthy.
Are you worried about Greedy?
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Like you have zero faith in him?
Yeah, I've seen nothing from him.
Zero faith
in the 2 years to be excited about him.
Yeah. I think he showed flashes his rookie year, but then this whole, I think it was like a nerve situation or something. People were saying that he still can't feel like in one of his shoulders or something like that. Yeah. Which is unreal.
Right.
For especially for like a corner.
Right.
That's kind of
young
needed.
kid
You know,
like
you
that, too.
gotta kind of use your hands every once in a while.
Just
so
dragging the shoulder around on there. Yeah.
Just start whipping
we
it
don't need
around.
that.
Yeah, could be some issues. Could
Yeah.
be some issues there for us. A lot of Browns talk all over the place. You know, that first segment there
That's
for
all right.
us. So there for
It's
us.
the off season.
This is the off season
to talk about.
Yeah, it's a little tougher. It's a little tougher whenever you don't have a set sort of base, you know, going on. But I do want to hop into the Cavs. The last time that Kevin and I were on, they were on a 10-game losing streak.
Right.
You know, and at this point in time in the year, 10-game losing streaks feel like you haven't won a game in 3 years.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, you know, literally a 10-game losing streak is a month's worth of
Sure,
losing, you know, in the NBA. And that's a lot for a young team to sort of
Bounce back from.
Yeah, exactly. Bounce back from. The team has. Over the last 3 games, they're on a 3-game win streak, everyone. They beat Atlanta. Okay. Yeah,
Right,
like
right.
Atlanta had
No.
the craziest dumb defense you could ever play in the final couple of seconds of that game. So, the Cavs ended up winning that game, but then you beat the Rockets, which once again,
Yeah,
not great, but then you beat the 76ers last night.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Like where is this team? Only 3 games out of a playoff, out of the 8th seed in the playoffs. They're also going to have that play in. I believe it's like the 8 through 11 seed
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, they're planning on doing something like that, you know, towards the end of the year to try and get teams to get into the bubble aspect, I guess, for it. But you're only 3 games out. Like at this point in time, should the Cavs tank or should they go for it?
I'm so tired of tank. Like tanking
You're
doesn't. Like tanking doesn't.
You're
work.
exhausted of
It
tanking.
just doesn't work. It doesn't. Like you got to let the kids play as hard as they can. I mean, should they trade Drummond? Yeah. Should they get trades? You know, if they can, they'll never trade Love because of his contract. But
Right.
I mean, should they be trying to build for the future? Yeah, but you can't tank. You can't lose games on it or tank. You know what I mean? But yeah, they should tank. But yeah, you gotta let them play. But you shouldn't have like Drummond though. Trade the guys that you can get, you know, future picks for and stuff, and keep building the team. It's a great. I mean, they look good. Bickerstaff looks like he knows what he's doing. It's not like, I mean, they have an actual. They play defense. I mean,
Right. Well, and they were playing amazing defense at the beginning of the year, and then that 10-game losing streak, they went down to like 29th in defense.
They need to come up with some offense. Like they're
Right.
like one of the worst offenses in the league.
And they are right now. Their leading scorer is Colin Sexton. He's averaging
Stud.
23 a
Stud,
game.
yeah.
I think he's a stud as well. Now he's not the number one, you know, or he's not a playoff number 1 caliber sort of player, obviously.
I don't know.
You don't know? Like, what
going forward?
do you have any sort of comparisons for him? Like, if you look at Colin, do you go like a young Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, maybe Russ. He's always. I mean, he flies at the basket. He's
Right.
He's
Not
he's
that
a better
great of-
shooter than I
not-
thought he would be when he came
Right.
out. Like
He's
a good
averaging
shooter.
40 behind the arc.
Right.
You know, so he's doing his job
Yeah.
for it. I think he's still, you know, he's running in the lane way too much still. You know,
Yeah.
keeps his head down, throws it up, kind of like what I do on the basketball court there for him, and that's why I love the guy.
Yeah.
But he is averaging, you know, 23 on the year here for us. And then you have Darius Garland, who's averaging basically 6 assists a game.
Yeah.
Now, Garland, his offense is still a little all over the place.
Yeah.
He's not averaging very well, like I think it's under 45%, you know, from the field.
Right.
It's not great. Like last night, I think he was like 9 of 25 or something like that.
He's not afraid to shoot. He's
not
always that good at it.
Right? He's not the greatest
Yeah.
though, which is a stumble there for this team. And like what you're saying, this offense needs to pick up somehow, some way.
Yeah,
The only way that you're going to get that way, because I don't see them being able to pick up free agents or anyone like that.
You got to build through the draft.
You got to build
You
through
have
the
to,
draft.
right.
So once again, bringing up the tanking point, you're kind of in that catch, you know, in the, you know, that double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah.
You're like, you want to win because you want these guys to be winners and have that playoff experience. But like, if they get bounced in the first round in 5 games, like, what did that 5 games mean? You know, whenever you could have a Cade Cunningham coming out of the draft who just scored, I think, 42 yesterday.
Right.
For I believe Oklahoma State. He's an unbelievable player. He's going to be the number 1 pick in the
Right.
draft. but you're not assured anything. Even if you end up losing the rest of your games of the year, you only have like a 15% chance of getting that number one pick.
Yeah.
It's not like what it used to be.
Right. Well, we've been there. I mean, we you know, the NBA draft or the NBA draft lotteries. We've been there. We're like, well, the Cavs aren't going to get it, and then we get the number one pick randomly. Like, you know, what I mean, it's like, oh wow, you know,
yeah.
Like, you can't lose. Like the NBA, you can't tank. It doesn't make sense. I mean,
it's almost impossible to do that now because I mean, you look at franchises like the New York Knicks. They were tanking for years.
Right. And you
like,
can't tell the kids to. I mean, you can't like you can't these young kids. You can't have them tanking to start their careers. Like it's not. You never build a winner if you do that. You know, I mean, they'll never have that mentality. They'll never get out. I mean, it's just you see what Philly's done. Like, yeah, Philly has great players, but they don't win. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Well, they are. To be fair, they are the number one seed in the East. But
they got Doc. Yeah, having Doc. Really
and having
huge.
Doc will do that.
But before that, yeah, it was
right.
I mean, it took them a long time. Even with the great players they have, they should have gone to the finals or at least Eastern Conference Championship or something. You know, I mean,
at least. Yeah. I mean, coming out of the East, what do you have? Like you had the Raptors and who made it? Oh, the Heat.
The Heat ran on that day. Last year didn't really. But,
it didn't really count last year. I mean, let's be honest. For that.
Sorry, LeBron. That one really doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
doesn't really count.
2 of LeBron's rings, his first ring and his most recent ring, came in shortened seasons.
Yeah.
Like so,
they don't count.
Yeah, they don't count. You're still at 2, LeBron. One with us though.
Yeah,
so
that one
counts.
Counted.
That one counted. Thank you for that 3-1 deficit.
Counted.
Yeah,
yeah,
that one definitely counted.
Yeah.
And then the second one counted for you in Miami apparently.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that one's fine.
That's okay.
But yeah, I think they need to like lose and get draft picks, and it sucks, but you can't lose on. I mean, you can't.
Do you think that JB should have any sort of like? Should they be telling JB you're safe, or
yeah.
A lot of people were coming out and saying that JB Bickerstaff should be, kind of on the hot seat, especially after the 10-game losing streak. Like that's an obvious, as well as Kobe Altman. Everyone's ripping on Kobe. The only issue that I have with Kobe,
why? What were the Cavs supposed to do this year that he's
It's
underachieving?
like, yeah, it's a good point. You knew the Cavs were going to suck,
right? Yeah, it's like what has he done to were we expecting better? Because I
think starting off so hot, I mean, they were like 4th in the East for like the first 3 weeks of the year.
Sure.
It's like it was like 7 or 8 games. It
Sure.
wasn't anything too crazy, but they started off
like
hot.
500.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think they were 500.
Right. Yeah.
So they started off 500, and then everyone was like, okay, here we go. But then they hit that West Coast streak that had like the Clippers and the Jazz and the Nuggets, back to back games. A lot of tough opponents.
Yeah, they got. I mean, that's what I expected to happen when you go out west and you play those. I mean, why would he be on the hot seat? I feel like if anything, he's overperformed at the beginning of the year. Great, yeah. That shows a lot. This is pretty much where I thought they'd be right now. Yeah, not a very good basketball team.
Struggling
young basketball team, I should say. Not a very good one, but a struggling young basketball team with a first-time head coach or first-year head coach.
Over under 2.5 years till they make the playoffs.
Oh, make the playoffs?
Make the playoffs. You know what? No, 1 year. 1 year to make the playoffs, 2.5 to win a series.
Over to win a series. I feel like next year they could jump in at the
I think so too.
Seed. Yeah. If depending on who they get, you don't have to get big free agents, but you can get guys to come to Cleveland that are good role players. Like somebody that can actually play point guard and pass the ball. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
Or a big guard. How's that? Like we just have, Garland and Sexton are just I don't understand that at all. I hate
Jenny's not doing it for you?
No. And I hated that draft pick when they took Garland. I don't agree with the going like small ball and I don't.
Yeah, I think they were trying to do like Portland East, with Dame Lillard and CJ.
It's Allen. The kid's a stud.
Oh, like, Jared Allen. Yeah. Jared Allen is a stud of all studs.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I was like, Yeah,
And that's
blown
why,
away
like, I
by
don't
that.
think that Kobe should be getting a whole lot of heat for the stuff that he does either.
Right.
Because if you look at the trades, and we had talked about this, I believe, last week, if you look at the trades individually, like, you literally got Andre Drummond for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and then he comes to your team before the pandemic. You guys are 500. You guys are playing 500 ball
Right.
with JB as soon as he took over for Beeline,
Yep.
and then the season gets cut short.
Yeah.
And then coming into this year, you start off 500 again. You're feeling good about yourself, and then they give you the option to get involved in the Harden trade. You know, they need an extra team. So hey, Cavs, you want to take some cap hit? Do you also want Jared Allen for literally nothing?
Yeah.
You know,
And it was
yeah,
like,
you're gonna take
yeah,
that.
Right. That's
You know?
that. And I had no idea who. I'd never paid attention to the Nets. Didn't know who the guy was.
Best hair in the NBA.
Yeah,
Easily.
best- yeah.
That fro is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
But yeah, I didn't know. I mean, he's a stud. He's good. He's a
he's-
lot better than I thought he was.
He's
you know?
very efficient too.
Yeah.
Last night wasn't the greatest use of his efficiency. I think he was like 5 of 12 or
Yeah.
11 or something. But you know, in a couple of games, back-to-back games, he was like 11 of 11, and then like 10 of 11.
Yeah.
He's getting 18 boards a game.
I would say, what was it, like 26 and 18?
26 and 18
Yeah, I
the
mean,
other
it's
night. I believe that was against the Rockets.
4 blocks. I mean,
Yeah.
he's all over the place.
He was unbelievable. Yeah. So like, I think the Cavs, they're on the building. You know, they're building themselves up. I would love to see them go for it, but at the same time, like, to know that you have the possibility of getting Cade Cunningham,
Yeah.
who's 6'8", you know, like he is, he's a true
Throw him in the
perfect
middle
small
of that lineup.
forward.
Yeah,
Right.
Small forward. That's what they're missing.
They've been missing that.
Yeah.
You've been missing LeBron forever, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, we get that. And we're not saying that Cade Cunningham is LeBron James. I'm not coming out here and
You're
saying
not
that.
saying
I
that?
am not saying that. However, like, you need someone
Yeah.
of that sort of stature, of that sort of ilk, a number one pick that you know is going to be able to ball out in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I think that they can definitely do that.
Yeah, you want to give yourself a shot for it. It doesn't matter if you're they don't have to miss the playoffs by much. I just want them to miss the playoffs. So
Just enough to,
just
you know,
outside the playoffs is fine with me.
give
Yeah.
you know, that 5% chance of getting the number one
Yeah,
pick.
because I also don't want to go in the playoffs, like you said, and they wipe the floor with you, and it's like, oh, well, that was worthless.
Right.
Like that one,
Yeah.
You know?
You got a week's worth in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Peter, do you think what do you think the Cavs should do? Should they tank or should they go for it?
Well,
I know
don't
you're not a
Yeah.
huge basketball fan, but like, do you think that they're just a couple other players away from it, or do you think that they have a realistic chance of getting?
I think they need players, and I honestly, I don't like the idea of just like tanking, and now with it not guaranteeing you anything,
Yeah. Right.
you know, it doesn't really do anything for you.
Right.
I think, you know, they should go out there, do their best. You know, yeah, if they miss the playoffs, they get a little bit better chance with the draft, you know, with the lottery. I think you might do more harm than good intentionally tanking,
Right.
Okay.
Because it's not the right mindset.
You're sending a wrong message,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since you're not. I mean, I could see it may be different if you were guaranteed the number one pick. If you
Right.
were,
It's not
And
football.
you're-
It's not like where you're tanking for Trevor. You know, you go like that
Well,
makes sense.
and the Jets still screw that up.
Yeah,
So-
but that makes sense why you would do that. It doesn't make sense in the NBA to
Right.
because you could still end up with a 7th or 8th pick, and at that point, it's
right.
it's crapshoot. You know, you might end up with Dwayne Wade, or you could get Darius Garland. So-
Right. Ouch. Don't kick the guy while he's down. We've
He
won 3 in a
doesn't
row.
suck. He
We've
doesn't
won
suck.
3 in a row. Come on. You know, give the guy a break. He had like
Right.
9 assists
Like
last
I
night.
said, he's not terrible. He's just not. You know what I mean? You're not guaranteed at the
Right.
5, 4, 5, 6. You're not guaranteed an all-star. You know, it's not like if you tank, you're guaranteed an all-star. It's not like football where you can go get the best player and he's, you know, Myles Garrett or somebody. You know,
Right.
because we did tank for Myles Garrett.
Well, tank for Baker too, apparently. So, but you know, going off of that, I do want to transition to a sport that we all love here,
Yep.
baseball.
Yep.
And spring training is starting today. Okay.
3 o'clock, I think.
I believe 3 o'clock. I want to say against the Reds.
yes,
I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Going into this season, and you and I, we went back and forth last year about the Indians and like the playoffs, and
Yeah.
I was saying, you know, their outfield is horrendous, and it was.
Yep.
You know, and
Sure was.
it sure was.
It's not much better this year.
No, it is not. but I guess that's the whole point. There's been a lot of stats out there, a lot of projections, everything like that. I think the over under in Vegas is 81.5.
Yeah.
Games therefore. So barely 500 team.
500 or below.
A 500 team. Okay. Where are you at with this Indians team and the squad? I mean, obviously letting Frankie go was heartbreaking.
We knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming, though, so we sort of braced ourselves for it. He does still look really weird in the Mets, Mets uniform.
Terrible. And it's to me, like I hope I'm wrong, but I didn't feel like we got enough. Like I thought we would at least get one big leaguer out of the deal. Like we didn't. I mean, I didn't think we got enough, but you never know what the prospects they could have gotten the next, And
history shows us that the Indians typically win these trades.
Right. Yes. Or I don't know about win this one, but if they even come close to breaking even, I'd be happy with it.
Right. And I mean breaking even for Frankie, I mean that would be a huge get.
Because he's a generational player. He's that good.
He really is. Yeah. He absolutely is.
Except for last year when he just decided to not try when he came out and said that. And
so a lot of people were giving him crap for that. And I want to throw this out here. We all understand that he knew he wasn't getting a contract. They weren't investing in him. So why should he invest in them? At that point in time,
I'm with you. I don't think it was a.
People are coming out and hating on Frankie for that.
Well, it's easy to do that now that he's gone. I mean,
100%. But like, if you give your 2 weeks notice, are you really giving anything that last 2 weeks?
Right.
If everyone told you like, hey, by the way, your last day is August 1st, or August 31st. What are you going to be doing between the 14th through that 31st?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to give a whole lot.
I guess my problem with it is it was the playoffs though. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we was just coasting through the end of the season and we weren't going.
He did say the last week of the year or something.
I'm like, it's like it was still a playoffs. We were still trying to like a playoff run. Like I don't know. I feel like you would have taken that more seriously. Stayed in the gym. Whatever he said, he stopped working out.
Stop lifting I stopped lifting a long time ago. So it's but
you also stopped hitting, so that was a real pain in the.
That's a good point. Stop doing a lot of things.
Right, yeah. I don't care if you lift, you should just at least swing the bat,
Swing, get on base, please.
Something.
Carlos Santana, just get on.
Right.
But going into this year, once again, 81 game or 81 and a half. Are you going over or under?
I got the under.
You got the under.
I got the under. And not saying that I wouldn't be surprised if they win 85 games, but 80, they're not. I don't think they're going to win 90.
What would it take for them to win 90? Like, is there a surprise?
It's gotta be somebody in that lineup that I'm not seeing.
Are you thinking like Oscar Mercado wakes up, and starts hitting 270 again?
Yeah, it's going to take somebody that is in the middle of that lineup, not named Jose Ramirez, to really step up.
Yeah,
because like at this point, all you should do is not pitch to Jose in that lineup. Fran Mill. He's gonna hit you. You'll get a couple doubles and a bunch of home runs, but you're not. You get a lot of strikeouts. It's like you'd much rather pitch to him. And and the craziest thing about the Indians right now, and never had to say it about anybody, is like you just have to worry about the manager staying healthy. Like, I mean, honestly, like he's an amazing manager. He could get this team to 85 wins or more. But it's like you're actually worried about his health, and is he going to be around more, or like? Because I'm at the point where it's like, well, we gave out Frankie. I was ready to bring in like Sandy and give him the keys to the car.
Just give him.
Yeah. Like Terry, you did awesome. We love you.
Sure.
Like,
do you want like some cushy job inside the organization sort of thing?
Right. Yeah. That's right. I'm ready for Sandy.
I am happy to have Sandy still.
Right.
Thankfully we still have Sandy, and
he's next up.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. But going into this year, Peter, do you have 81 and a half or over or under on that?
Well, I had over. We talked. Yep. We briefly talked about this last week. And I think I'm the only one that went over.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm optimistic because the Indians typically, I don't think there's any standout players that we have right now.
You think like Josh Naylor? Like, I mean, you traded to get him.
Was it Rosario?
Eddie Rosario.
Yeah.
He's killed you in the past.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I like that pickup. I think it's going to help, but it's.
I can't believe we got him that cheap.
I don't think.
Well, yeah, in the Indians front office, between our farm team and the front office, I feel like they've proven themselves that they know how to put together a winning team.
Yeah,
and so I have faith in that right now. I'm hoping it translates to the field, because we've seen before too, where we've signed big name guys to come in and help us, and they've done nothing.
Yeah.
It was woohoo, great, yeah, we got him. And then it's
the only guy that I remember bringing in that was like, you know what, like hell bent on doing a really good job, at least a hitter wise, or the last one, Jay Bruce.
I was going to say
Jay Bruce. Whenever he came in, was hitting game winning hits. I mean,
that was 16, wasn't it? That was
2017.
Oh, the 17. That was after
Bruce.
God, I was so pissed off they didn't re-sign him.
Yeah.
I was this close to getting a Jay Bruce jersey, and I never get jerseys.
Yeah.
Like this close. I wanted him so bad.
Yeah, I mean, they got Edwin, what was it, after the 16 season?
Yeah. No, Edwin was part of that 17 team as well.
I said after the 16
season.
After the World Series.
Okay,
after the World Series, they tried. They
did.
spent some money, went out and got him, but it didn't stop us from getting injured right before the playoffs and blowing, what was it, 2-0 lead to the Yankees?
Yeah. We were there for that second game.
The walk. Was it a walk-off?
Yeah, it was a walk-off.
It was a walk-off, but I think
I thought it was Chisenhall, wasn't it? Didn't Lonnie hit?
Was it Lonnie?
I think it was Lonnie. That hit. That was against the Yankees. Frankie's grand slam. I thought the ball was coming straight to me. I thought that ball was coming straight to me.
I almost said Jay Bruce, but I think that
Jay Bruce extended.
Jay Bruce, I thought.
Jay Bruce got it to extra innings.
Okay.
I think he tied it up.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I believe it was Lonnie hit him, hit someone, and I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. I just remember going nuts.
Yeah.
Pandemonium.
Easily one of the best games I've ever been to. Easily, hands down.
Yeah.
To sort of finish up here, okay, we got about 15 minutes left here for us. I want to go into this. We always have a fun topic at the end of the show, and one of the things that just sort of popped in my head today, and I'll break it down to you, is underrated movies. And you and I, we always go back and forth with our buddy Mark.
Yeah.
And we always talk about, like, oh, what did you think of this? What did you think of that? We always talk about WandaVision, which is, have you been keeping up on that?
I haven't watched it since the 6th episode, I think.
Okay, there's two more episodes, and then next week is the final episode.
Right.
It's been getting good. It's been getting really good.
It was a rough start.
It absolutely was. But you and I, we love to dive into movies. Peter, we love to always talk about movies around here and everything like that. I want to know, what is one or a couple of your favorite, most underrated movies?
Underrated. This one was tough, and it's actually my favorite movie.
Okay.
The second favorite behind, it's probably 1A.
It's okay.
Is Django.
Okay. Now,
what gets lost in Django is the actual story, because there's a lot of cussing, there's a lot of blood, it turns off there's a lot of foul language, there's a lot of stuff that Holly won't even watch it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I get it. I get that part.
But Tarantino,
you actually lose the story in that is actually a really good storyline.
Right.
I mean, it's an awesome storyline where you got this
slave turns bounty hunter, and
and trying to find his wife, and this white guy helping a slave find his wife. It's a great story. And
it really is
really good acting. It's just it's
has great actors in it, great storytelling, great director.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it has a lot of the things that
there's some funny stuff, there's some serious stuff. I mean it's all over the place. It gets lost. Like I said, the storyline gets lost in all the, there's a lot of foul language, a lot of blood, it's a Tarantino film.
Right. Yeah. You said that it's your favorite. Yeah. It's one of your top 2 favorite movies. Right. Remember the Titans.
Right. Yeah.
I knew it. See? This is therefore it. But so what makes that a great movie is the actors, the storytelling, everything behind that. Yeah.
I would even like it more if it was less some of the blood's really over the top
outlandish
and stuff.
It's Tarantino.
But it is a really good movie. It's a really good storyline. and like I said, great actors.
Yeah.
You got it all. I
And-
mean, Leo in that movie is fantastic. I mean,
He's only on screen for like 20 something minutes.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
and then he's gone.
yep.
You know,
Yep.
spoiler alert. But okay, so Django.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. I love, obviously love that movie as well. Quotable as hell.
Yeah. Not radio friendly.
not live friendly there for us.
Yeah.
Although Leo's part in that, gave birth to a lot of good memes on the internet.
Oh my God, did it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love the one where he's like that, but he's like they got the one where he's really fat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Peter, I want to know, what is like an underrated movie for you?
See, it's kind of difficult because I think back to a lot of the movies I watched as a kid, like in the 80s. Like I'm thinking like Dabney Coleman and like Cloak and Dagger was a great.
Okay.
That was a great movie because as a kid watching that, it's the kids. Oh, it's just your imagination. All this spy stuff, that's
Yeah.
going on. It's in your head, kid. Stuff like that I thought was great. But one of the things I really like, and I think like I feel is kind of underrated, is like Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
You wouldn't
It's
think
like,
it. Like
Yeah.
when you going into
But
it, I was not
that's what
expecting
makes
a
it
good movie.
underrated.
Right.
Every,
Right.
like,
Exactly.
almost every like Edgar Wright movie is just so well done, and I get sucked into. I'll go on YouTube and I'll get sucked into like not like the making of, but like why this is such a good movie, and just all the little nuances, all the detail. There's so much freaking detail.
What a transition by you, Peter.
Okay.
Because Edgar Wright is one of those directors that I'm 100% with you. I view movies like underrated movies or just
Are you gonna say Baby Driver?
Baby Driver.
I was thinking
Driver.
that was a
Thank
great
you
movie.
so much.
It
It
is,
is.
here we
I
go.
just watched it before we came here. Once again, it's on Hulu, by the way, for anyone out there. So if you want to watch Hulu, I view great movies. You got to have one. You have to have a couple of these things. Great music. Got to have the music. Got to have a great score. You like Jurassic Park doesn't have music, but the score, it's
Right.
iconic.
Yeah.
You look at and even like I love God, what is that? Why can't I think of
You think like Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead?
yeah, Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. Well, Killer Queen and everything
Yeah.
comes on.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
That movie is
Yeah.
just
Hot Fuzz, it's great as well. But the way that I view it, you have to have great music or a great score. Got to have great actors. I will say that. Like you always make fun of me. I never give like the B. I want to say B-list movie celebs chances
Right.
and they're out there.
Yeah.
The movies out there. Unless you have an A-list, I'm probably not going to watch you. I'm sorry, it's just the way that I am.
Wow.
And I don't give that enough credit, but you gotta have great actors. Storyline has to be great. I love fast-paced movies. That's always perfect. Car chases are bonuses, and then it has parkour. So I mean, it's fantastic, and I'm so happy that you brought up Edgar Wright because it's perfect.
I know how much you love Baby Driver.
And Baby Driver is fantastic, and
You have it right above The Dark Knight, right?
no, I don't have it above The Dark Knight. That is properly rated as the greatest movie of all time. That is properly rated right there. But no, like I know you give me a lot of crap for Baby Driver, but you haven't watched it in years.
I'll give it another chance, but
you
it's
have
just
to.
saying, like to be fair, when Nick saw this movie, he texted me how amazing this movie. Oh man, you gotta see. He gave it like a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay.
And then I watched Baby Driver.
So your expectations were so high.
Right.
So-
and then I watched
Peter-
Baby Driver.
Peter,
and
this-
I was
Nick oversold it. Is
Damn
what you're
it.
saying.
Peter, this is an issue that I have
my gosh.
very much so. I do tend to
if you
oversell
give
a lot of things.
right, if Dark Knight is a 10 out of 10,
And
and
it
you
is,
said
and
Baby
it
Driver
is.
was a 9.5, I was like,
You were expecting
You're
This
expecting
is-
something a little different.
you were expecting the Joker to come out of left
I
field.
was
and,
expecting something
See,
other than Baby Driver.
It's funny though because when I was thinking of this topic though too, I was thinking of there's a movie, The History of Future Folk,
okay.
which is it's a quirky movie. It's on I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a good movie, and I think my sister-in-law was like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Watch it."
Yeah.
Because it's about music. It's about aliens. It's really
Okay.
And it's actually there's a folk band group called Future Folk, and this is their history. And so the movie, but it's
Okay.
it's kind of like a low budget movie, but it's actually like it's a really good movie.
And that's those are the type of movies. And like once again, Baby Driver made a boatload of boatload of money. Okay, it did.
Well, how many times did you go see it?
I saw it 3 times. I saw it 3 times.
Exactly. That's why.
Right.
I saw 3. Yeah, made all of its money off of me. But I went to go see it, and like. And it got a couple of like Oscar nominations, I believe, for like film editing and the score, the music score and everything like that for it. I don't think it won anything for it, but it is one of those movies.
I doubt it did.
Shut up. but it is one of those movies that like people don't talk about enough, and like I want people to talk about Baby Driver more.
Nobody wants to talk
People
about Baby Driver. I
need-
can't believe we're spending this much time on Baby Driver.
People need to talk about Baby
I
Driver.
will say there's a YouTube video that I think it's like everything right with Baby Driver. I was one of the guys that
Everything?
everything right with Baby Driver, but they break down like the car chase scene.
Yeah.
Of like just how perfect, like each little shot, the music, the
know.
way the beats fall. I mean, the attention to detail that Edgar
It's-
Wright puts into these things.
Right.
And same
And
thing
like-
with Shaun of the Dead when they're beating him with the stuff in the bar.
Kill the Queen.
You're right. Yeah.
It's like
Killer
what?
Queen. It's like, yeah, they're doing all this stuff, and it's like they're hitting him on the beat.
Right.
But it's that attention
Yes.
to detail where it's like, I don't think I noticed it.
Yeah.
When I first watched the movie, but it's because it's just you're so engrossed in it that everything works.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then like whenever you're watching Baby Driver, like at the opening music scene and everything like that, it has like all the words written out and he's walking right past everything. And every time that it says yeah, like you'll see like something like in a tree that says yeah. They start playing a trumpet and he's like, starts doing like it's perfect. The editing in that movie.
How'd that go?
The editing in that movie is so damn good.
Yeah.
It's
Like I said, it's not
half
a
the
bad
movie.
movie. It's
It's
just
a great
I
movie,
was
Tyler.
expecting a
Yeah,
9.5, man. I was expecting a 9.5 out
It
of
was
10.
as close to a 9.5 as humanly possible. Like,
right.
I do agree with you.
Sure.
Like Batman and like The Departed and like all of those sort of movies, 10s.
See, it's like I actually a Baby Driver's on the scale of like it's almost like Smoking Aces. It's just like it's
way better than Smoking Aces.
it's right there for me. It's like it's kind of
You
like
son of a-
it's like yeah, I watched it once.
Smoking Aces is okay.
Yeah, so it was Baby Driver.
Have you guys seen Logan Lucky?
You know what?
No, I haven't.
Hate that movie.
Really?
Couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining. I wouldn't say it was underrated. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Was Adam Driver and
I've never seen it.
Channing Tatum is in it. They play like brothers and
they're basically robbing NASCAR.
Yeah, they go and rob a NASCAR,
Okay, yeah.
like
Oh,
Bristol
yeah,
or
no.
something
Yeah,
like
I've never
that.
seen
Yeah.
it.
I thought it was entertaining.
Another movie. You're real quick here for us, real quick.
Off the rails.
Just a little bit. Hot Tub Time Machine.
That movie's hilarious.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Like
That's the one movie
Can we agree on
I
that?
am so happy he told me to watch because I was like, I'm not watching Hot Tub Time
I thought
Machine. He's like,
same,
no, man.
Same thing.
Hot Tub Time Machine is
probably the most
amazing.
underrated movie of all time.
It's right up there.
It's right there because you
It's
would
right
never
up there.
watch it based on the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that makes me think of Grosse Point Blank. If you've seen,
I don't think I've seen that.
that's another John Cusack
Okay.
movie, and
Yeah.
it's he disappears after high school. As he's going back to his high school reunion, he's a hitman.
Okay.
And he's going.
John Cusack as a hitman?
Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
It is.
I'm down for that.
It is actually watch it. It's
Gross
and-
Point Blank. Okay.
Yeah, and Minnie Driver is in it too. It's
okay,
it's-
yeah.
and Dan Aykroyd. It's actually
Yeah.
a really good movie, and Debbie's like, why the hell are you watching this again? And if it comes like if I see it,
Sure, yeah.
late at night, I'm like, I'll just watch it.
Pops up on
Oh,
something,
yeah.
yeah.
I was just like, even if it comes across like my Netflix things, like you've watched this before. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it again.
Dibs on it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we were able to get Baby Driver some love. Because
Thank God.
that movie
I know how important it is to you.
it is so important. It is so good. Watch it. But that is going to wrap up our show. This show has been all over the place.
all over the place.
It was really a mess, but I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
So, I want to thank everyone that's watching this. Once again, this has been pre-recorded here for you. So if JJ Watt has signed with the Browns, you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. But I do want to thank everyone. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the other side.